And good afternoon, class. Today, so targeted population, as I was saying, is youth under 20, age under 21. Erikson's developmental stage 5 is identity and diffusion, which targets the adolescents, and the geographic location is nationwide. The main purpose of the street outreach program is to help kids that have been turned out on the streets, that have been made homeless under many circumstances that are not necessarily of their own free choosing. There's many stereotypes as to why adolescents become homeless in the first place, and understanding this is going to help reduce stigmas, because if there's stigmas around the causation, a lot of people won't help because they just assume that teenagers are on drugs or criminals or got kicked out of their parents' house for a reason, and when you stigmatize the situation, it puts causation onto them and makes it so that way people transfer blame and takes the guilt out of wanting to help. So if you look at the reasons and why there's programs like these in the first place, that many teenagers are trying to escape their toxic situation from their home life. There's a lot of parents out there that assume that when you're 21, or not, 18, that you must be, an adult, and therefore must be ready to get out onto your own. There's a lot of abuse in some of these teenagers' lives that they're looking to escape, dysfunctional environments. Some teenagers simply weren't given a choice because they were abandoned by their parents. Therefore, the main dexterities of the outreach program is to rehabilitate youth, giving them skills so that they can be independent. The SOP, or the Street Outreach Program establishment, provides emergency shelters, crisis interventions, and follow-up care. So they don't just, tell them, oh, you're good, and assume that they're going to be okay after the program's over. The reason why the program is necessary is, our nation's youth deserve much better than living just out on the streets. The streets can be really dangerous, and kids can turn to a lot of illegal activities that they normally wouldn't otherwise, just to try to survive. No child deserves to be destitute. Adolescents are not mentally developed as adults, therefore they should not be treated as such. Yeah. They need adequate tools to thrive before adulthood, and these programs set them up to do that. Everyone needs love and support and a satisfactory lifestyle, especially our youth. The viable outcomes of the program: further prevention of the nation's adolescents' homeless population. So it reduces, if they have a program in place, an intervention, if you will, then it reduces greater chance of them being homeless clear into adulthood. So it does reduce the homeless populace by rehabilitating youth into their adult stages of life, into interdependency. It provides much needed guidance, education, and support. Sorry, I have to talk really loud because my microphone on this app does not pick me up for some reason. It offers a safe place to sleep other than the streets where they can be harmed or injured, or you never know what could happen to them, and that's not okay because it wasn't their, you know, they're not on the streets by choice, so why should they succumb to such environments? Um, it offers much needed counseling service for youth that have been traumatized. It offers hope to those who have nothing and no otherwise chain of networking support. The developmental theory that this program supports is the developmental stage is targeted around adolescents. So anywhere from 13 to 21. Brzezinski 2004 surmises the Erikson stage 5 is based on the schemata of the brain formulation of development of identity through psychosocial networking. That means the teenagers are still trying to figure out who they are, and they kind of gauge who they are, you know, by those they are surrounded by. And when you're thrown into such a situation as living on the street without a choice, then those homeless kids are exposed to just whoever's already on the street and whoever wants to take advantage of their newly developing mind for their own benefit. Stage 3 is also a fragile and cognizant frameworking. And what I mean by that is, it's easily manipulated and moldable. And that's how kids get in trouble. When they're on the street, they're very impulsive. Program success. The program does have a lot of success, however. There needs to be more programs in place due to the ratio per shelter versus homeless teen populace is not adequately sufficient. That means that there's unfortunately more homeless adolescents than we do have, adequate shelters in place for the increasing demands of teenagers, which is sad. The efforts are not in vain, however. If even one adolescent was saved, and it helped rehabilitate that teenager. There's awareness about programs need to be more widespread to reach teenagers who do not have knowledge about particular programs. When I was a teenager, and say hypothetically I got thrown out, I would have no idea where to go or what to do or who to talk to, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of other teenagers. It's a situation they weren't expecting to find themselves in the first place. So it needs to be more talked about and, advertised. The programs stem from multiple organizations and agencies that also help fund SOP. There's success within the program, and it is essential community support and aid each other. Walker et al. 2019 affirms many teens that succumb to homelessness are often thrusted into lawlessness, in which the program also significantly reduces teen crime rates. This program gives guidance keeping teens off the street and also from turning into a life of crime. So it gives youth more options other than just turning into crime because they don't know what to do. Some program modifications I would stipulate are free food, shelter, mental and medical care until the age of 25. The implementation takes stress off, so teens can solely focus on their individual progress towards independent stature. Modification ensures they can focus on healing and progress, so they never have to return to the SOP program. Um, it provides structure and security that take frightening future insecurities away. And the reason why this is so beneficial is if they don't have to worry about where their medical health care, food, and shelter's coming from, they can take the stress off that aspect, you know, the mere means survival, and they can focus on healing and their trauma counseling and their education so that way they can be a wonderful addition to their community. Fees 2013 surmise that family in a child's life is a primary resource of life. When that is removed, the child is helpless without knowing, you know, what to do, how to turn, their guidance, because parents are supposed to be that fundamental resource in a child's life. Teens lack viable support from caregivers, so helping them strive is an ethical commodity given and supported through the community. You know, we are all better as one and helping each other than we are on our own. Teens that have been thrown into the streets are traumatized, not knowing what to do. The modifications offer sound security, therefore they can focus on growth and proper healing. And there are my references. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you have any further questions, I'd love to elaborate on this topic. Thank you for watching. Sorry about my cold and the audio. I don't know how to fix it. I tried for like 5 hours.